Hello everybody, this is Ellswood Studios and welcome to the video. 2025 marks the 80th anniversary of the Railway series, the collection of books all about the trains on Sodor written by the Reverend Wilbert Awdry and his son Christopher. To mark this auspicious occasion, plenty of people have been coming up with their own ways to celebrate, and amongst them are toy companies. Now, of course, everyone who's ever been a fan of Thomas will also have their preferred toy line to collect. I personally collect two different ones, that being Wooden Railway and Playrail Trackmaster. In fact, as it happens, toy companies created a special toy specifically for the 80th anniversary, and I collected one. Once it arrived, I then went through the rest of my collection to see what I had, and started making notes of which engines or rolling stock I had, how many of them I had, and what different variations I had. Now, at that point, I realised a lot of people actually tend to show off their collections on YouTube, and I've decided I might as well do the same. In this video, we will specifically be looking at my Thomas Wooden Railway collection. So, all aboard, sit back, and enjoy the ride. Now then, like most collection videos, I shall be starting with my standard gauge engines, and we'll be starting with the steam engines. So first, here's Thomas, Edward, Henry, Gordon, James, Percy, Toby, Duck, Donald, Douglas, Oliver, Emily, Bill, Ben, Harvey, Arthur, Murdoch, Spencer, Neville, Stanley, Rosie, Hero, Bash, Dash, Ferdinand, Bell, Stephen, Ashima, Neil, Big City Engine, Flying Scotsman, Wilbert, and Lady. Next, we have my diesel engines. So, here's Diesel, Boko, Mavis, Salty, Derek, Harry, Bert, Den, Dart, Paxton, Diesel 261, Diesel 199, Sodor Railway Repair, and Diesel 10. Next up are my narrow gauge engines. Here's Skarloey, Renius, Sahandel, Peter Sam, Rusty, Duncan, Ivo Hugh, Duke, Mighty Mac, Luke, and Victor. Here are my miniature engines, Mike and Frank. And here is my mountain engine, Coldy. Next up are my additional engines and alternate versions, starting with Thomas. Here is Old Style Thomas, Hard at Work Thomas, New Style Thomas, Winter Wonderland Thomas, Thomas Comes to Breakfast, Surprise Face Thomas from Thomas and the Jet Engine, Paint Splatter Thomas from Calling All Engines, CGI Thomas, Thomas at Sea complete with his barge from Misty Island Rescue, 60th Anniversary Gold Thomas, 70th Anniversary 1942 Thomas, and 70th Anniversary 2015 Thomas. New Style Henry, 60th Anniversary Henry, CGI Mud-Covered Henry, A Better View for Gordon, Old Style James Goes Buzz Buzz, New Style James Goes Buzz Buzz, CGI James, New Style Percy, Dirty Percy, Percy's Chocolate Crunch, Scary Jack Frost, CGI Percy, 60th Anniversary Silver Percy, Battery Powered Percy, and a custom vintage Percy. This was a vintage saddle tank engine that my grandfather got for me when I was a little boy. At the time I didn't have a Percy and I really wanted one. So my father took this spare vintage engine, painted it green, put a little face on it and a number 6 on the side, and this was my very first Percy. Admittedly, it's not a very good model, it doesn't run very well, the magnets aren't brilliant either, and of course the polarity on the magnet is the opposite to everything else in my collection, but to me this is the item that has the most sentimental value to me, as it is a link between me, my father and my grandfather. Moving swiftly on now, Surprise Face Spencer, Patchwork Hero, Fix Me Up Stephen or Stephen Comes to Sodor, Battery Powered Lady, Diesel in Disguise, 60th Anniversary Bronze Diesel, Mavis, Ari, Bert, 2 Dens in Disguise, and 2 Darts in Disguise. Next up is my rolling stock, starting with standard gauge coaches. Here is Old Style Annie and Clarabelle, New Style Annie and Clarabelle, CGI Annie and Clarabelle, Henrietta, 2 Old Slow coaches, 4 Express coaches, the Duke and Duchess's coach, and 3 baggage cars. Here are my goods wagons or freight cars. Scruffy, Fred Pelhay, Hector the Horrid, Chuckling Trucks, 2 of them, the Old Style Troublesome Truck, Recycling Truck, Recycling Hoppers, 2 China Clay Trucks, 2 Crovan's Gate Mining Trucks, a boxcar, the Zoo boxcar, barrel truck, fuel tanker, milk tanker, the Duke and Duchess's furniture car, gold sifter, orange cargo car, and 2 black cargo cars. Here are my brake vans, cranes, and other rolling stock. Toad, Northwestern brake van, also known as the Spiteful brake van, Sodor line caboose, breakdown train, ice truck, ice crane, 2 fire trains, hand car, Old Style Chinese Dragon, new style Chinese Dragon, and the jet engine. Here is my narrow gauge rolling stock, cement mixer, and the dumper truck. Here is my mountain railway coach, Catherine. And here is my cargo, Code, a green Sodor container and a yellow Sodor container. Next up are my road vehicles. Here's Bertie, Bulgy, Terence, Trevor, George, Butch, Thumper, Flynn, Fire Engine, 2 hook and ladder trucks, and the water tanker. Here are my boats: Bulstrode, Sodor Bay tugboat, and Sodor Bay cargo ship. Here are my Thomas Brio items: Thomas, Duck, Oliver, Splatter, Dodge, Duncan, Annie and Claravelle, 3 coaches, Toad, Bertie, and the Fat Controller himself, Sir Topham Hatt. The following items are fake items made by a company in China. Now, for the most part, these items are absolutely horrendous, though some of them do have their uses. First of all, we have Gold Diesel. Technically, this is meant to be a recreation of the 60th anniversary Bronze Diesel, but it was labelled as Gold. Next, we have Rickety, and this is one I actually find quite useful. With the Chinese fakes, the magnets tend to be the wrong way around. Normally this is a bit of a nuisance, but with Rickety that's actually quite useful, because it now means I have a truck with a face at the back, which I can use if I want to have an engine and a truck face to face. The benefit of these Chinese fakes is they're actually cheaper than the items they're fake versions of, which allows me to get 4 cheap quarry trucks. There is also one item I can only find as a Chinese fake because it was never officially made for Wooden Railway, and that is the Skarloey Railway coach. And as you can see in this picture, I have 6. Finally, the other Chinese fake I have is the Day Out with Thomas coach, and you can tell this is a fake because the roof is too wide and the body is slanted to one side. Next up are my limited edition dioramas. You've already seen the engines before, but here are the dioramas they came with. Thomas comes to breakfast, A Better View for Gordon, and James Goes Buzz Buzz. The next section of this video will be looking at all my wooden train items that are not related to Thomas. Starting off with Brio. Here is Flying Scotsman, Mallard, the Polar Express, a blue ride-along engine, an old red and green engine, a green battery-powered engine, an American-style diesel engine, a European-style cargo engine, a yellow coach, a blue coach, 2 of Flying Scotsman's London North Eastern Railway coaches, 2 log trucks, a cargo truck, a cattle truck, which I normally use as Trevor's trailer, an open truck, some old trucks, some more old Brio items, some more old Brio items, even more old Brio items, a blue car, a green car, a taxi, police car, 2 lorries, road roller, plane, police helicopter, ferry, cargo container, engine, metal pipes, chemical tank, and some concrete pieces. The following items come from Early Learning Center. Here's a red steam engine, an express engine, electric multiple unit, the London Underground, 3 blue coaches, 3 post coaches, car transporter complete with a little car, old style red and blue engine, old style green and yellow engines, old style green engine, old style diesel engine, old style yellow coach, old style blue coach, 2 old style green coaches, old style cargo truck, old style hopper, old style fuel tanker, and old style car transporter. The following items are from Bigjigs, the London Underground, Virgin Pendolino, and the Eurostar. The remaining items are odds and ends I've picked up from all over the world. First we have this 5-piece Swiss train which I picked up in Switzerland when I was visiting the Ratischerbahn. Next we have this European style crocodile locomotive which I also picked up during my travels in Europe. Next we have a fun train. I honestly cannot remember where this came from or how long I've had it, but long enough that I don't remember. Next we have a zoo train, a red battery powered engine, a blue battery powered engine, an intercity express train, a vintage express train, and a variety of other vintage engines and rolling stock which I was given by my grandfather. A battery powered Christmas engine, a Christmas caboose, and a double-decker bus. In the last section of this video, I shall be looking at all of my structures and destinations, starting with those officially made for Thomas Wooden Railway. Here's Tidmouth Sheds, the Engine Sheds, the Works, 2 water towers, the coaling station, Cranky the Crane, Bulstrode's Dock, Fire Station, Hump Bridge, Mountain Bridge, Road over Rail Tunnel, Rotating Mountain Tunnel, and a crossing, although somehow I've managed to lose the crossing gates. Here are my Brio structures. A single shed, railway works with a sliding section in the middle, a lights and sound station, a single tunnel, which unfortunately is too small for a number of my Thomas items, and they often get stuck when I try to push them through, a crossing, and a windmill, which I use as Toby's windmill. Here are my early learning centre structures. A crossing, a small station, although I think it might be a bus stop, I'm not sure, and a variety of pieces used to make a town, including a cottage, a church, street lamps, signposts, telegraph poles, phone box, post box, and traffic lights. Here are my Bigjig structures: a single tunnel and a double tunnel. Finally, we have all the other structures that I own. If you happen to know which company made these structures or some of the unknown engines mentioned previously, feel free to let me know in the comments. Here is Woodbridge Station, which I tend to use as Ellsbridge Station. 2 old red stations, a pedestrian bridge, 2 yellow bridges, 4 red bridges, a big red bridge, a suspension bridge, a rotating bridge, and the North Pole. And so that concludes my wooden railway collection. Thank you all for watching. Leave your comments below, and I'll see you again soon.